Capricorn, happy solar returns. If you have a sun, rising or moon in the sign, this is your January 2025 soul story. Welcome to a new year and welcome to the channel. It's Romy here. We are going to open up this month for you with the energy of the Four of Swords. Meeting things moment by moment is necessary in the first week of January, and I suppose it's less about maybe feeling into a new year and more about feeling into where are you at in your own personal season and cycle. And when you respond to that, it's going to feel much more authentic and more aligned with, you know, how your mind, your body, your soul is trying to communicate to you at this moment. There's a need for more rest. There's a need to take things slowly and to just allow a continuing reflection to happen. I think in the first few days of January we have a lot of water energy showing up actually. Vesta, asteroid goddess, shifting into Scorpio on the 2nd, really transformational energy to allow deeper healing to activate here. Remember, we just witnessed Chiron stationing direct as well. Venus shifts into Pisces on the 3rd, and then Mars moves in to Cancer in its retrograde on the 6th, and then we build up to that full moon in Cancer on the 13th. Extra sensitive, okay? And I suppose in some ways maybe feeling there's a little bit of that kind of ouchy energy around, so maybe people's tempers are a little frayed, they're still overtired, they're still feeling a little bit out of sorts, and so the best thing is to perhaps just have a quiet counsel and just continue to process and think through what's important, where your soul promises are really kind of aligning. The 2nd also sees a little bit of a combustible energy with Mars and Pluto, so probably a reminder not to maybe move into any sort of situation where you're trying to communicate or articulate something that's already sensitive or you know is already kind of problematic. I would wait a few days and just kind of allow that energy to dissipate a little bit, and the Four of Swords is just going to give you time to continue to recharge and rejuvenate your energy a little bit. I think this first part of January, like the key theme around this is if they don't know you personally, don't take it personally. You know, you might be up for being tuned into what a lot of people have to say, and you know, there's part of you that's just like, okay, enough already. I think for you in this season of solar returns, I almost like pick up this kind of rawness, this real energy where you're making no apologies for it. Queen of Swords coming through here, so more air energy. How you're communicating is changing, and you know, as we approach that full moon in Cancer on the 13th, we're going to have Mercury having shifted into your sign from the 8th, by the way. That feels supportive in terms of just you getting your point across, but there's something that then needs to be said around that time. I get the word bitter, so I'm wondering if there's somebody around you that's still holding or expressing some sort of bitterness, or you yourself may even be feeling a little bit like that, or that some kind of situation was bittersweet. Nonetheless, I think the emotional experience that arrives for you mid-month on the 13th reminds you that, you know, it's not just about feeling like the best is yet to come. The best is here today, and it's here in the choices that you make when you come from an energy of that belief and that knowing and that truth. And I just have this sense of you going, do you know what, like there's no time to waste, like this matters to me, this is important to me, I'm making this a priority, and kind of really announcing and making sure that you're advocating for that so everybody knows where you stand. And that's one thing I will say about you in January, Capricorn. I feel like everybody knows where you're at when we arrive by that full moon, and I think that's why it's important to take maybe the first couple of weeks just to really think through where you do stand, and you know what you do want to articulate as we approach that kind of an energy. Okay, I see you really affirming that you're choosing your energy, you're choosing your focus, and you're choosing your experiences from, I don't know, a place of like profound wisdom from everything that unfolded in the last 12 months. And you know, there's definitely a part of you maybe feeling a little bit jaded in certain pockets of your pathways, and I think that's okay. You know, we can understand why you would arrive at that, but there's also part of you that just says, you know what, there's still opportunity here. There's still something that I'm hungry for. There's still desires that need to be embraced here. And I think there's also something that you want to keep building upon. Now, we've got the Lovers coming through here, so we've got a lot of sort of air energy gathering in this first part of January for you, which also says that things can actually move really quickly. So yes, we've got this Mars retrograde that, you know, is an invitation, I think, to reflect and revisit things, particularly ensuring that your energy levels are where they need to be. And when it moves into Cancer, sometimes it can be a realization that actually it's our emotions that are holding us back. If we've not dealt with something, you know, or there's a big distraction or a big elephant in the room, then that can absolutely impede our ability to focus on other things that are important or that matter to us. There is a key choice or decision that I feel you're going to be leaning into as we come into Aquarius season on the 19th, okay? And I want to call out the 21st because we have a Pluto Cazimi coming in 1 degree, this heart of the sun energy, big opportunity for a release point here, leaning into the shadow, but having a lot of power, a lot of willpower actually, to make something feel quite transformative in and around that time. So that choice feels a little bit loaded for you. Yes, it could be connected into a relationship, but it also for some of you might be connected to something that is involving a third party. And there may be some information that you've recently happened upon or has been given to you or revealed perhaps around that full moon that's also shifted how you feel about things, you know. And I think that sometimes where we're still trying to find the right path or to get on track for ourselves, you know, there's a selfish moment that comes in that says, do you know what, if I continue to do or show up or participate in something that isn't really about me, but I seem to be getting dragged into time and time again, I'm going to keep putting off the things that matter to me and that I'm being called towards. And I do feel that as you move towards that second part of January, there's a decisiveness with that Queen of Swords to say, okay, you know, enough. Like I really have to make my feelings clear here and draw a line on something. So you might find that you withdraw or you pull out of something. Maybe even there's a having to let some people down around that time as you make a decision that better serves your soul, whether that be for health, physicality, or for just for your mental or emotional health, or because there's something more pressing that you understand is actually a priority, even if they don't necessarily. I do think that you've perhaps got a little bit of a difficult character around you in the month of January, perhaps seeing a side of someone that you hadn't quite expected. Maybe it's a little bit of a warning shot across the bow, not necessarily to say this person doesn't need to be a part of your world, but maybe not sharing as much information or just being a little bit more discerning about the time or the energy invested into something, okay? I think they've still got some things to work through, and so there's a reminder of just not being too available for them to kind of plug in and start draining your energy a little bit, okay? We've got our Two of Pentacles here. There's a little bit of a weighing up going on, and you might find that you're having to juggle something to the degree that you do feel a little bit depleted. As we come into more of that Aquarian energy, I feel like there's also this recognition for you that, is this worth it? Remember, we're then, you know, talking about second house, and we're bringing form to things, to ideas and the plans that we've got. And you're in that place of you're kind of trying to figure out, how am I going to make this work? How is this going to be something that can support me? Or what is it that I need to do to make a change that better serves me at this time? I think you might have a couple of options on the table. One feels like it comes back from a very long time ago, either something that you've done before or something that you had thought about and then discarded for some reason or another. Nonetheless, I think that new moon, when it arrives at the end of the month, is going to spark it again. And maybe it's not something that can take off in its entirety, you know, to allow you to kind of push everything else to the side, but it can get some airtime. And I do think that you're going to make a priority to set some time aside for it. If you feel like you're juggling time, money, energy, resources, whatever that is, I also think that you'll make some bolder choices towards the end of the month as well. And, you know, that's going to make a huge difference, because it kind of almost like creates the space for something a little bit unexpected to flow in. It's my belief the energy, particularly in the beginning of the year, is going to feel incredibly erratic. And so, it's down to you to try to find ways to ground and to support building and continuing to build the foundations of what's going to be important in your life, in your circle, in your family. And when you take care of yourself and you know that you can put these robust sort of measures in place, knowing the tools that keep you going when you need that sort of solace and that soul tending, will again be able to kind of clarify things and help you to seize opportunities, because there's a real spontaneous energy that comes in toward the end of January as well. On the 30th, Uranus stations direct in Taurus. At the same day, Sun is trining Jupiter, beautiful sort of auspicious time. So I think there's a little bit of an upside coming in at the end of January with regards to something. Maybe you had not expected it. In a way, it feels like it's like so much better than what you thought it could be. You had an idea and you thought, well, maybe this could work, or I hope that this happens, or you expected something from someone, but whatever it is, something over delivers for you, which is always a nice message to lean into for sure. I want to say to you, Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn, no one is more qualified than you at this moment for exactly what it is that you're focused upon, or what you're thinking about, or what you're leaning into. Please have the self-belief, the trust and the courage to actually initiate something in this month of January that matters to you. Yes, there's a lot of sensitivity in that first part of January. That can make you feel a little bit insecure, a little bit doubtful. You can get a lot of other people's energy that can also feel like it's dissuading you. But as you move past that full moon, I feel that clears a little bit. And there is definitely a sort of rising energy coming in that honestly you're going to be, I think I'm ready for this. And that might have taken you a very long time to arrive at that decision or that realization, okay? I really like how these energies are showing up at the beginning of the year for you. If you're new to the channel, the last 3 cards we look in the extended reading. I'm going to talk for another 30 minutes or so. And you'll also get a personal card and a relationship card with that reading as well. You can find the link in the comment and description box underneath. I'm going to go ahead and just clarify these cards and see the direction we're going to be taking that for you. Queen of Fire, got a lot of the Queen energies showing up here. Empress, 7 of Fire. Another Queen of Earth here, Hanged Man. I also feel like you've got someone kind of stepping forth with some sort of wanting to work with you or connect with you, or there's some sort of project that's going to be in the pipeline. It might be on the horizon, but actually I really kind of like how it unfolds for you. Another Wheel of Fortune coming in there, look at that, interesting. Now 3 of Air, 3 of Swords. Little bit of an upset coming through, something also that perhaps wasn't quite expected or anticipated. Again, I feel like it's about this seeing a side of someone that you hadn't expected, okay? Just keep that in mind. Right, we're going to look at Life Soul Vision, which is my own deck. Let's take a look here. As you're aware, my new journal is also out, and many of you will have received that over the holiday season, so I hope you're enjoying working with it. Please do let me know. For those of you that haven't been aware, please check out the website. You're going to find the journal, my deck and my book, Moon Musing, all available. Maverick of the Light, Dancer of the Shadows. Yeah, a little bit of a tense exchange going on there. Okay, let's have a look at a Unicorn Oracle for Capricorn for the month of January. What do we have here? You know, all that water sensitive energy, Venus in Pisces, Cancerian full moon. There is actually, I feel, some romantic undertones like coming through as well. And I think you might be quite surprised at some of the feelings that surface for you in regards to someone or something. Right, we have Not a Clock, Time. Okay, we're going to explore that message in the extended reading. I hope you'll join me there. Thank you so much. You can check out ways to work with me, my Sacred Soul support, my membership, and of course all my sacred titles over on the website romywiser.com. Have a great solar returns. I'm going to see you again soon. I hope you'll join me on the extended Capricorn. Thank you.